You're good.
Okay, let's call the regular monthly meeting to order. It's June 24th, 2026.
21st.
No, 21st. Why did you say 24 on here?
I don't know.
Mine says July 21.
Wait, that's the minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're looking at.
that's what I'm looking at. Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. All right, so it's July 21st.
Let's
Let's call the regular monthly meeting to order. It's June 24th.
My bad, hang on. Get the replay.
Yeah, the replay. Let's start over. Let's start over.
Back up the clock. You're good to go.
Okay. Now let's call the regular monthly meeting to order. It's July 21st. Hope everybody had an opportunity to read. Let's start again.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion. We got a second. Oh, call roll. Yeah. Let's do the minutes. Let's finish the minutes and we'll vote. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get a second on the minutes. Thank you, Tim. Any discussion? Any errors, corrections, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we'll call the roll. Tim, would you, conduct the roll call?
Pat Carroll. Brother. Mark Greco.
Here.
I'm here. Gary Sanders. Trish Peter Clark.
Present.
Mary Ellen Tisbro. Present. And Nick Finelli is accused. You have quorum, sir.
Thank you. Austin, would you, introduce the staff and guests, please?
Sure can. In terms of guests and staff, Austin Millock, CEO of the County of Oswego Industrial Development Agency, Kevin Lamontagne, CFO of the County of Oswego Industrial Development Agency, General Counsel Kevin Caracoli, Caracoli Law. We have Nate Emmons, staff member of Operations Oswego County. In terms of guests in the audience today, we have Jim Cannon, and I'm sorry, Miss, I didn't catch your name.
Brendan Chip.
Brenda Chapman, okay. I believe you did sign the sign-in sheet, so we will have that captured for the official minutes. So those are the guests that are in attendance today. We have no other guests joining us virtually or in person.
Okay, and the notice of the meeting was posted in the Powell Times on July 7th. Let's move into the financial report. Kevin?
Thanks, Mark. So you have the financial report in front of you, and it's also out on the Chair Drive ahead of the meeting. This is through June 30th, so it's month 11 of the year, or year end is coming up. We'll talk about that in the next bullet point. I don't have a whole lot to say. We did collect. I'm looking at the last page of the balance sheet, which is page 404, but we have $546,000 at the end of the month due to taxing authorities for a pilot. A performance payment from the site and power plant pilot that was received. So that will be that has been now distributed in July, and the IDA will take its portion as well of that. So that was one big item that appeared this month. If we go to the income statement, page following that, page 1 of 2 of the back 2 pages, you see our revenue over 400,000 now at the very top of the P&L. We have about 52,000 more of income coming in before the end of the year with some closings, with a few more lined up closed later this calendar year as well. So still keeping some good activity there. No other particular comments, items that we haven't covered previously on the P&L. So that's really all my comments. Happy to take questions.
Okay, any questions for Kevin? Okay, hearing none. Do we need to approve this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll do a motion to approve the financial report. Thank you. Moved by Gary. Can I get a second? Second by Pat. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Let's move on to Grossman St.
So this is our annual vote to approve the engagement letter as you recall, last year, we went out to bid for audit services to look at local firms that have the capabilities to our audit needs, combining IDA, OOC, and the other entity together. It's really one package, so the timing of the audits and things are different, so that we can work in one auditor. We chose at that time to continue with Grossman. So far, so good with that decision. So this engagement letter is standard language about who's responsible for what in the audit. The price is $15,600, which is what the first of 3 years. It's according to basically the 3-year letter commitment they gave us last year. So we certainly recommend that it be approved. We would start the audit. Well, the audit year ends July 31st. Obviously, we'll be making preparations. We've had a pre-audit meeting already with Jamie and her team, and we'd be getting the audit completed in time for review at the August, September, October meeting so that it'd be uploaded in Paris. So
Okay.
How many years have we used them?
we've used Grossman. I think we should talk about this question when Austin's back in the room.
Okay.
But the answer is, I just don't want to get in discussion without him here, but it's
Okay.
a long time.
Okay.
12 years or so, but we have maybe more now. It's probably closer to 17 or 18.
While we're waiting for Austin, we have another guest.
Yes, I'll just announce for for everyone who's watching at home, and also for the official minutes that I just want to make sure I got this right. Colette Badger has joined us, as a guest, so thank you.
The question came up, Austin, about how long we've used Grossman,
Mm-hmm.
which I honestly don't know the specific number of years, but it's gotta be 15 more or less.
I'd say
now.
between 10 and 15 years. I think it goes
Yeah.
back to probably 2013, 2012.
Well, we have had different partners, including here recently, we've had a partner change. Our partner now is Jamie Galante. She was sort of a junior. She's worked with us basically her whole career at Grossman, fresh out of college. She was a junior kind of person to a manager, so on and so forth. Now a partner at the firm and is the sole, the main partner, the engagement partner for all of the entities that we manage. Christina Andreyko was the partner prior to that. We switched partners. There are requirements with authorities to have different partner review the audit after 5 years. So we've done that with Grossman using another partner they have that's familiar with IDA auditing. So we've kept in compliance with that requirement while staying with the same firm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also just want to add as well that as you remember, last year we requested a 3-year costs for that, and Grossman was the best cost from that. Not for the different entities that they do the auditing for. So we've done that as well. Understand that we've used them for a long time. They're also the most knowledgeable about everything that we do, and they were the best cost for that service.
I think the important thing is just for the minutes is that we went through the procurement
Understood.
process with the RFP, right? That
Yep.
was all we talked, we had extensive conversation about that last year.
That's right.
We had to make sure that we were not just, so.
Mhm.
So we approved it last year. Do we have to approve this report?
Each
again?
year, the
We have
annual
to
engagement letter.
authorize the engagement
Okay.
letter, yes. So that's still, it's an annual process that even though we requested those estimates and then the cost yet last year, annually, we have to approve an engagement letter for them to officially be engaged to do the auditing services.
Yeah, we're not in a binding 3-year agreement. In other
Okay.
words, it's an understanding, but it's a commitment, but not an agreement, I guess you could say, with the pricing and such. And our commitment to use them is also not binding, but this was a contract essentially for the year.
Even though we need a motion to approve the engagement. Thank you, Mr. Stahl.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mel. Mel. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Question? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's move on to Strawberry Manufacturing.
Sure. So Trabry Manufacturing, this was actually a project that was approved by the IDA in 2025 that is getting ready to they're actually underway on some things, but they're getting ready to take on some major costs associated with the project. They have had some new partners come into the project, a new entity, a new company has been formed called originally Trabry Manufacturing Inc. and all of CNY were the holding company and operating company. They created another entity called Trabry Manufacturing of New York. Not really a big change on that, but because that they have been created and because of the IDA's position in the project, they are requesting a consent to assignment so that that new entity can be eligible for the benefits that were previously approved. So still many of the same partners. So for information, Adam Avery is a managing partner of the project. This is just for everybody's reminder, this is the former Wiltsey industrial building out on the east side, actually on East Seneca Street, and it is going to be reused. There's a startup wood truss manufacturing company going in there that's going to create approximately 22 jobs. And so nothing has changed about the project. It's just a new new entity coming in to help in terms of providing some financing to the project. So really what you're asking, what the request is today is consent to assignment. And I'm just looking, I want to make sure I have the right resolution in front of me. The very specific what's being requested here. And of course, the last one I'm looking at, so let me get to it. Apologize for that.
And it wasn't the portal.
Yes, it was, everyone should have seen it there as well. So I'm just trying to find the actual, which one I have in front of me. Well, for this one. All these resolutions look the same. So let me make sure I've got the right one. But in essence, it's a consent to assignment for the new company to come in. I was going to read the exact resolution language on that. I don't know, Kevin, if you have this part of your.
I don't,
I can go get it. I'm sure I have it here. I just can't. OAA. Okay.
But as far as legally goes, Kevin, carefully, this is the typical process that we do anytime there's a change in the name or.
We do, and I think
Nope, I got it. Right
it'd be helpful to clarify too, that this is adding investors, not taking away
Correct.
any existing investors.
Yes. So I'm just going to read the resolution, and I'll just come in to run off and go grab that. The resolution is approving the assignment of the right, title, and interest in a certain project facility by Travery Manufacturing, Inc. to Travery Manufacturing of NY LLC, and authorizing the execution and delivery of an assignment and assumption agreement, and determining other matters in connection therewith. So that's the official resolution language.
So they're going from a limited liability company to a corporation or the other way?
The other way
The
around.
other way, going from incorporation to LLC, yes. Yep. And all of C and Y is still going to be involved in the project.
Any discussion? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Pat, thank you. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay.
Let's move on to, is that OYA Pulaski LLC?
OA Pulaski, similarly, this is a project it's an already approved project from several years ago. This is a community solar project, so a project of 5 megawatts or less in the town of Richland that had been previously approved by the IDA. The entity has a new ownership, which is GF Kestrel Solar. That's an affiliate of Goodfinch, is a US-based solar company. They have come to the IDA and requested consent to ownership transfer. They've acquired all. And so I guess this is it's sort of a ask for forgiveness, not for permission. It's already taken place. They're asking for the IDA to consent to the ownership transfer so that they can take over the pilot agreement and all other requirements of the company related to that. So I'm not saying this is one of those which is not uncommon for some of these. It is a little bit of a unique situation because the company that was previously associated with OA Pulaski did go through a bankruptcy, and this was a company that purchased the assets of that out of it. But it's a company that has owns a lot of solar projects. They provided us a whole write-up of everything that they have done with the project since. They seem to be operating it in good order. We've also provided information to the IDA's bond counsel at Barclay Damon. They have reviewed everything and said that everything looks good. So the language related to this, if approved, is the resolution acknowledging the change in ownership and sale of the membership interest in connection with financial assistance provided for a project that was previously approved. So nothing new being provided, nothing changing related to what's there. It's just acknowledging and consenting to this new company taking over that agreement.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
Okay, we've got a motion by Mr. Stahl. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mel, we got a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. So where does this project stand currently? I know we approved it. Is it?
It's already been built.
Okay.
It's been completed. It's active. It's a
year, whatever, the pilot.
you're like 3 or 4.
Nothing changing with that. It's
It was
just.
single tier 4.
Yeah, yeah, it was a project originally approved on September 30th, 2020. Just looking through. The project was. So the GF Kestrel Solar entity that purchased it, this was actually in 2025, which is the affiliate of Goodfinch. We were able to sort of get in communication with them earlier this year, and this is finally getting through this. So
This project updated on the pilot payments?
correct. Yep.
Did they pay it or did the previous company?
They paid it.
They did.
Yep.
So can you just verify that the decommissioning bond and all that other language has been transferred as well?
That was part of the, what had been, looked at and evaluated by Barclay Damon, and everything's in good standing.
Just curious how that works from the Transact, that they still make sure they don't lose track of that.
It bought the project company, so any of those like bonds would be the name of Hawaii Glasgow LLC. They actually acquired a holding company that owns that and three to four other solar farms in other areas, so any agreements they had with the town or with the bonding company say would carry forward.
So for the bonding, just clarify this, there's a bond that's essentially set in place for the entire term of this agreement, 20 years, right? Are those paid up front? Are they paid annually? Is this company paying for it? Did the previous company pay for it? Like, I just want to make sure that it doesn't get lost in the transaction.
Yeah, so as part of the IDA's process, we determined that there has been an approved structure for that. We're not necessarily managing that structure. So that's something we would have to understand from the town, exactly what they did on that, but the town did provide us that they had a satisfactory bond in place for it.
For discussion purposes, for future, can we talk to somebody about that? I would love to know. I don't feel comfortable just saying, we did it, take your hands off, 20 years from now, it's on you, town. Like, can we look a little more into that process? And I don't know if we need to add as an annual reporting. We haven't gotten to the 20-year on any of these projects yet, but I'm really concerned we're gonna get to the, 20 years from 4 years ago when these things first started, and we're gonna find out there was some loophole, some window, the town, and now we're gonna have dozens of these that we approved, that we've been getting benefits for, that are gonna be on the taxpayers.
Yeah, I mean, and there could be different ways they could do it. I mean, they could set up an upfront annuity, they could set up all sorts of things, and I think
I would like to know a little, for my comfort level, knowing that there's a plan in place.
that's something we can get for next meeting.
You'll find it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Some pay annually, some pay, for the length of projects.
Yeah.
So
And it's part of their
there's no,
it's part of their sort of process at the local level to approve a project, that they're the ones that are structuring what they're requesting, similar to what they are for a
Many
host
of them
community
also
agreement.
have no, let's be honest, many of them have not dealt with this before 5 years ago. Many of them don't have an expert on staff.
But early stages of it.
That's it. And so,
Phenomena.
I know some of them are trusting that we mandated this. Well, if all we do is mandate that year one it's there, there's no follow-up, then if we can keep an eye on that, I just want to know more. Also, Kevin, you said before that we are not reasonably able to withhold this, right? I mean, ultimately, yes, they're asking us for forgiveness, but ultimately, we're kind of mandated to approve it.
Not mandated.
it's not mandated, but I mean, there is language that says that the approval shall not be unreasonably withheld, and I guess then, it's kind of an amorphous term, but I don't think that anything that the new company has done, is unreasonable. I think they're doing the right thing. Some of this may come to light because the pilot payment was late, and so we started inquiring, and then we found out that this occurred, so.
Yeah, there was some detective work on our end to track down everything, so.
Appreciate that from you guys.
Including driving out to the site to look for a nameplate. to see who the owner
Thanks,
was.
Kevin.
And there isn't one.
We've had conversations about an additional fee to these folks when they transact. It does take admin time from us.
Yes.
Is that in place, and are we going to
Yes.
be receiving some?
Yes, we will. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, and of course follows our policy as what we say for any sort of consent or further approval process.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to GSPP 5059 State Route 104 LLC.
All right, and so another solar project, last one to be talked about today. Different consent being requested. So after the project was completed, it was determined that there was a minor issue related to the parcel description, so much that, I mean, it's a 0.07 acre change. I mean, we're talking maybe the size of this room in terms of, the changes, but it is a change. And so there has to be new documents sort of filed related to the actual the final parcel description related to the project. It's another project, the project's been completed. This was sort of determined afterwards. that there was a need to do this. The company brought this to us, showed that there was a slight discrepancy in the parcel description, as I said. The net change is about 0.07 acres, which is about, it's like 1,000 feet, maybe a little bit less than that, square feet. So, but because of that, we have to bring this action to the IDA, and the IDA has to consent to change that, which will trigger some documentation that needs to be sent to the municipalities and some other things like that.
Is this an increase or decrease in their parcel?
It's an increase.
Increase.
Yep. Yeah, 0.07.
If I might, like, so we've received property descriptions and surveys before, and this is an as-built drawing, basically. So they go back and survey it after the fence is up. So an example would be where the original drawing that we approved the project based on might have had in one case, did have a corner that the fence, and I don't remember, like the corner was cut, say at a 45-degree angle, but the fence was actually built with a 90-degree angle. So it makes the space inside the fence like a little bit less, like a few feet in that case, or whatever. Maybe it was a 3-foot triangle that ended up being a triangle flipped the other way. So it's changes like that, very subtle
Subtle, but
changes in the
necessary.
means of balance description. So
Yeah. And
the
it
parcel
doesn't,
map looks, you can look at it side by side, it's pretty much the same until you start following the lines around and see that some of the angles are cuts that line. It's also, this project is a fairly complex parcel. There's a lot of lines in the parcel description because it makes a lot of turns, so that maybe the site conditions didn't allow the fence post to be put where they intended it to be put or something. So,
but to Mel, to your point, it doesn't change the amount of the pilot agreement at all. That's based on the actual megawatt, the AC megawatt production of it. We do not anticipate that it's going to do anything really to change the assessed value, because, and it's good for people to understand that the pilot is only related to the within inside the fence. Anything outside of it related to a parcel is still subject to normal tax. So with a tiny change like that, I really don't anticipate that to make any change. I'd be surprised if the assessor did make a change to that. But it is important to know that, and that's a good question.
it's actually putting a small amount of square footage back on the tax rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
0.07
It actually affects any taxes.
Yeah. Like it's like,
Cross our Ts.
well, if it's a raw land and I don't have it in front of me, but say if that raw land is assessed at $40,000, if it changes to $40,050, it's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, can you get a motion to approve?
Okay.
No, sorry. Matt? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. All right, item number 8, Mike Treadwell, Oswego County Industrial Park Expansion General Contract. I don't know what the L stands for, I'm sorry. Larry.
He would have said lovable, but it was not. That's what we told everybody, but we know it wasn't that. No, so this is an exciting day. So obviously you guys know, 6 or 7 years we've been working towards this, and we're finally to the point of awarding a contract to the general contractor to start the construction of the project. I'm going to let Nate get into sort of the details on this, but as we had discussed last time, we were in a bidding process. That was a seal bid process. It was actually culminated here at our office with the opening of sealed bids. 3 contractors submitted bids, and I'll let, I guess, Nate get into sort of where we're going with it going forward.
Yeah, so June 30th was when the bids were due, and they were all opened up. WD Malone at that time, and still is, was identified as the low bid. It was about, on the base bid, it was about a $700,000 difference between WD Malone and second place, and about, due to a mathematical error in their bid, about a $415 million difference to third place. So just a reminder to check your bid packages and the math when you submit them, all
Check
right?
your decimals.
Did you say $700,000 less than the second bidder?
Yes.
Correct. Yep. And in transparency, about $550,000 less when you add in the add-on 1, 2, and so. So with that, CNS has been, our engineers have been combing through their bid package just to ensure everything lined up. And we are in concurrence, that we feel, that, WD Malone has put together a qualified package to move forward with. One caveat is we are still waiting for, EDA to give the final review on our information, because we are a funding partner and they require, approval. Our authorization today would be contingent upon the EDA review. It says MWBU requirements here. We've worked all that out since
11 o'clock this morning.
11 o'clock this morning. And so it's not contingent upon, so just the EDA part of it. So it's
Can you
8.4.
explain what the MWBE is?
So yeah, minority women-owned business. It's part of the New York State Fast New York grant. We are subject to a total of 36% overall in terms of good faith efforts.
Yeah.
Towards securing WBE and service and veteran firms. And so the contractors are required to put that information together on this, and that's submitted as a part of the bid package.
Yeah, so it's because we accepted state funds through Empire State Development Fast New York program. All their programs have a MWBE goal for the project.
Yep.
And as Nate said, ours is the goal of 30% MWBE, minority women-owned business enterprise, and then a 6% service disabled veteran-owned business goal for the project. And so, we at the time we weren't sure, we were doing the due diligence to see if that would meet that goal. And if it didn't meet that goal, if they had some justification of why it would meet that goal. So we feel confident at this point that's no longer something we need to do, but we still do need that EDA proposal. Nate, can you talk a little bit about what the uses of those funds are for? I think that, it's good, to kind of talk about what WD Malone will be doing with that versus what National Grid's doing on their component.
Yeah, so WD Malone, for the most part, is handling the actual infrastructure side of this project, so the roads, water, sewer side of it, also the electrical duct bank work inside the park, the new park. National Grid's responsible for the substation and as well as the gas portion of this project. So WD Malone has a very significant role and part of this project. Just to kind of let you know too, their full bid and came under the engineer's estimate for the project as well. And so we feel confident in add-on number one and requested authorization to do that as well. That add-on involves grading and preparing sites, actually in the expanded park, a part of it, so it'll make it far more attractive for potential businesses to come on in, because they'll see a more prepared piece of property, if you will, than what would be otherwise present. So we are, even with the add-on, we feel that we are still actually a little bit under budget right now, which is not a bad thing, knock on wood.
The reason we did it this way is that now we know, obviously, that the cost is sort of on target for the project. There's always that sort of concern that it may be over. And so we had them do the base bid, which was all the infrastructure work that had to happen. And we had the add-on, which was the grading and sort of site readiness preparation cost as an add-on, because in the event that, that base bid was way over, we could at least keep that off there. But now that we know that those are both sort of on budget or actually under budget a little bit, we feel confident that both of those can be done with the budget that we have.
And as a bonus as well, just for the record, WD Malone is an Oswego County-based firm, and so that is sort of added, if you will, to this project.
Very much so.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve.
So can I ask a question about the
Yeah.
MWBE? So did you apply for a waiver?
We will once
yeah.
when we get to that process. We're not
Yeah.
there yet. What we're doing right now is submitting our utilization plan. And then as we progress forward, this is a reimbursable grant, and so that waiver won't be submitted right away.
So only concern would be approving the contractor and then they don't approve your waiver and then you're stuck with the 30%.
That's always the risk with the state grants.
Yep.
Every state grant's like that,
And-
quite frankly.
And a lot of that is that they have to provide a justification that they reached out. If they don't meet their goal of the 30% and 6%, that they have sufficient justification that they reached out and that those bids were above other bids and or for other reasons they could not use.
So
If you,
who's facilitating that for us, CNS?
CNS, yeah, so
Part of the
part-
administration stuff that you guys had already approved.
yeah, that last $40,000 that you guys approved, this is what that's paying for, is them to go through this with a fine tooth comb to ensure, so they have their MWBE people on it to work directly with WD Malone to ensure that documentation is in good shape.
And we actually, I mean, I haven't got a chance to look at it. I just got something saying that there was something that's improved their thing that's in a good direction. So
Yeah.
not
I think the other piece of this, Austin, is the IDA, I think we're requesting the IDA to give you,
Yeah, so just so we don't have to keep coming back, obviously this is an approval that's contingent on EDA review and approval. But the authorization would be to award the contract, but also to empower me to execute documents related to the authorization of that. So we don't have to come back and have a special meeting or another meeting, for related to notice to proceed. So not asking for the notice to proceed at this point because of the contingency, but if all of the check boxes come through, then we would be authorizing me to move forward with that.
yes, their MWBE utilization just improved. So
Yep.
that's good.
Any further questions? Again, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make it.
We're gonna do two. We are doing one related to the base bid and one related to the add-on. So just one.
Okay, and remember, these approvals are contingent upon the EDA's review.
Both are, yes.
Yes. Okay, both.
Who was that? Tim made the motion.
I'll make
the
Second, thanks. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion for the add-on.
Okay, approved. Motion made for the add-on, seconded by Trish. Any further discussion on the add-on? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carried. Okay, looking good.
I'm actually gonna ask for the next item to be moved down to the last before we go into executive session because there may be discussion that needs to take place. Instead of us having to go into executive session twice, it's better to just do it once.
Okay, so 9 is gonna be moved to executive session.
It would be moved to, it'd be the last item in public session and probably would lead into executive session.
All right, so let's move on to number 10.
Yeah, so as part of this whole project, we are we're implementing a promotional and marketing campaign around the industrial park. Part of that will be with our visit to Semicon West later this year, which is the world's largest semiconductor trade show, which is a huge part of the marketing around the industrial park. So we are, through Operation Oswego County, we have been in communication with a videographer that we have used for previous videos of the industrial park and understand sort of what the concept of what we're doing down there. They have put together a proposal, and actually there's a mistake on, it's not a mistake, it's just, I need to provide further context. So what we are looking to do, starting with the groundbreaking, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna steal your thunder on this one, Nate, but we're gonna have the groundbreaking for the industrial park on August 6th, and but we are proposing starting with that event and then going forward for the next year, having a videographer who's gonna be capturing sort of the progress on the industrial park expansion. We can use for marketing and promotional content, including at Semicon West later this year. The total contract for the 4 video series pretty much over the next like 11 to 12 months would be for $14,000, and it includes 4 professional separate videos that we provided with all content related to that. It would also have some additional content that we could use outside of those videos. But actually, because this would be going through Operation Oswego County, my request is not for the $14,000, but it would be for up to 50% of that, which would be up to $7,000. We are also in discussions with National Grid. National Grid has a program to help support strategic business recruitment. This could be an eligible cost. They may provide funding towards the project too. So what I'm asking for is up to $7,000, but it may be less depending on if we can bring some other partners in. But at the maximum of $7,000 to support this. So any questions you have related to that, I can happy to answer. I will also say that this, so last year we did a video with the same entity that became part of our submission for the Fast New York grant, which was helpful. I wouldn't say it got it done, but it didn't hurt, related to us getting $8.1 million from New York State towards this project. It always helps to show that the visual and sort of showing and that kind of thing. So our thought is utilizing the same firm for this, but is going to really be targeted to the entities and industries who would be the future users of that park.
Now, these videos can be used at like Semicon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to direct in terms of but sort of what the vision and content and the sort of what the audience and the intent is for it. And then, obviously we'll let him do the stuff he's really good at to do that.
And just to clarify,
yeah.
Austin, did you say 7,000 or 14,000?
So 14,000 is the total project cost. I am requesting for the ID to pay up to 50%, which is $7,000. It may be less depending on if we can also bring in National Grid as a partner on that as well. And I didn't mention it before, but I should just for this, the entity that we are, and it's not a contract directly with the IDA, it would be an operation in Oswego County that the IDA would be a partner on, is with InMotion Media, which is a local videography company. Dan Frawley is actually the one who owns that company. Dan.
Okay, the IDA is paying 7, you're paying another 7?
It would be either it'd be Operation Oswego County, it'd be a combination of Operation Oswego County and National Grid.
And then you said it depends on how much National Grid, if they wanted to pay a little bit more. Gotcha.
It's in negotiation right now, so I can't say for sure, but I just want to make sure that we can move forward with the project.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable. Any other
Yeah.
questions?
Did
Any
you have-
motion? Oh, sorry.
Quick question, you're hoping to have how many videos done before you go to Suntown?
We're just gonna have one video related to that, and then what we're gonna do is we're looking at a quarterly schedule. So we would have the one here this
At
fall.
least one done before you went.
Correct. Definitely have one done before we go, and then the others would be related to a winter, a spring, and a summer. So we'd have one that's coming out right around when the industrial park is going to officially open in September 27th.
Okay, so, all right, so can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Christian Mel. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's move on to item number 11.
I'm gonna turn this one over to Nate because he's been working on a lot of these and I can fill in some blanks.
Start at the bottom first and kind of work our way up. So as Austin mentioned, groundbreaking on Thursday, August 6th, at 1 p.m. So our ceremonial golden shovel time, to get the project rolling. So we anticipate there will be substantial work done in 2026 on the park. So which is fantastic. And there will be a kind of a winter break, and then they'll get back at it in March. So construction timeline looks very favorable to ensure that we are done by the end of August, early September 2027. That also corresponds with what we understand from National Grid as well in terms of their work. So we should have a, knock on wood, fairly completed infrastructure project by the time we're ready to roll in 2027. So grants, we continue to work with our funding partners to continue to make sure we're in compliance with all our grants, and that will kick into high gear now that we are ready to move to construction phase. So there's a lot of intricacies, and part of that is to ensure part of the bid process was to ensure that they had experience with dealing with a sort of a multi-grant project, which WD Malone certainly had. And then working with our engineering partners as well to ensure that we are in compliance with all of our grants that are associated, including international grid grants, which we also have a part of that. And then I'll let you talk about the bridge financing piece of it.
Yeah, so in terms of the bridge financing, and this isn't a literal bridge, but interim financing, there's no someone brought it up before, so I was like, nope, not a real bridge, just a interim financing. So we have been in discussions with County of Oswego legislature. I know at their last meeting, they scheduled a public hearing to take place in August, I believe, to take place directly before their next legislative meeting related to the county authorizing interim bridge financing of up to $6 million. So it's important to understand that this is all funding that has been backstopped by grants between the $8.1 million of Empire State Development funding, $2.5 million in EDA funding, the IDA's dollars in, and $625,000 from National Grid. However, the majority of those grants, in particular ESD and National Grid, these are funding that are in reimbursements after expenses have been taken. And sometimes the Empire State Development grants, it could take 6 to 12 months to get that funding back from when you request it. There's a lot of things that they need to do on their end. And so to ensure that the project can move forward without having to have any sort of stops in the project to wait for reimbursements to come in to start again, there was a request to the county to provide some interim financing for the project so that we can sort of cash flow a project and then get the reimbursements. And so we've had discussions with all of our with all of the funding partners, related in particular with Empire State Development to make sure that we can get timely reimbursements, which also, helps the county to feel more comfortable that they're going to be getting funding back. Not saying, hey, you're going to get $6 million back in 3 years. It's, you'll get, 2 or 3 million back within a year, another 2, and kind of doing it in those stages. But this helps us to be able to make sure that the project can move forward. Because as you understand, at the end of the day, this is going to be a $12+ million infrastructure project between infrastructure, some of the other things going on with it. And a lot of that's, with the funding with National Grid, that's all paid up front. Like we just paid up front dollars to National Grid. We're gonna have another cost, maybe two more CRAs or 3 more CRAs with them, cost reimbursement agreements related to their stuff. You pay it up front, and then, that work happens over the next year or so. And similarly with WD Malone, there'll be, monthly, invoicing that'll be taking place. And, it might take, as I said, 6 to 12 months, maybe even a little bit longer to get some of those reimbursements back, from ESD. So being able to make sure that between the IDA's own dollars in and some other dollars that we can continue to make sure the project happens over the next 12 to 13 months is imperative, so that we don't have to stop and wait for money to come in before we can restart. That would significantly delay the project and also increase the cost of the project. So
It doesn't look like anything needs to be approved. This was just.
it was just an update, and we will also just wanted to make you aware that we'll be there in attendance for that public hearing that'll take place. And I don't, Nate, do you remember the exact date of it? Is it August 12th?
12th or 13th.
Yeah.
And it's up in Glasgow.
Something class guy? Okay.
Austin will be there.
Kudos to the legislature for,
Yeah.
It's not approved at this point, but they are considering it, and we appreciate them being a partner with the Suns Project.
I believe in all discussions, there's a lot of things that went for it. Number one, it was that we don't have to give you 6 million upfront. Boom,
No.
done. We still have it in our coffers.
Correct.
If we needed it, whatever, as you need it.
Correct.
And then it comes back. And that when you take it, we get interest on it. And so the money mainly staying in our bank, we're getting interest on it. And the fact that, as I said, this, as we all know, this is a timely thing.
Correct.
And if we can get this done, we will be the first industrial park in central New York that is shovel ready for other companies coming in and looking.
And designed around the semiconductor industry.
Yeah.
Not just a general purpose industrial.
And I think everybody understands that we are in a very short time frame, and that Oswego, it's about time that we were first.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to be first on this, so.
and I don't need to toot our horns on this, but I will say that a lot of our regional partners have said that you guys have been the most proactive in doing these things. I won't share names of other counties or other things, but you guys have been the ones that we point to and say they're doing it right. They're getting ready. They're investing, they're being proactive, not just this, but looking at things like Sopris and other things that Oswego County is, answering what they need to do to get ready for Mike-Brown and other stuff, be it nuclear or otherwise. So
We're getting our name out there more and more. Oswego really is a lot of irons in the fire. It's all very positive.
Yep.
okay, let's move on to item number 9 now. We're gonna leapfrog that back up.
Sure. So one of the things that was actually related to an original, when we had done our original professional services contract with CNS, there was an item related to construction inspection. But it was, this isn't an item that really you implement until you get to construction. So we said at the time we were not going to authorize that. We were just doing the services related to the upfront engineering. Based on the request from the board, we went out to officially for a RFP for this service. We had 3 entities that provided RFP results for that. They were sort of varied in terms of the different scopes. We provided a scope of what we were looking for. However, some of them were a little different in how they responded to it. And so they had numbers that were sort of all over the place on that. The entities that responded to that were CNS companies, Barton LaJudas, and then C2AE, all engineering firms that are local to Central New York and have offices here. I think that there was some discussion that we wanted to have with the board and have them have the opportunity to ask that are related to the particular financial history of these entities, as well as, some sensitive things related to the contracts, that we'd like to discuss those with you in executive session, and then not make any decisions, and then potentially make a decision in public session when we come out.
And I think what's important to know here, the RFP, this is not the RFP quality, how a qualified firm is determined with this particular one, and the way the RFP was structured was that price was only 20% of that evaluation process. The other 80% encompassed the firm's background, expertise, a whole bunch of other information. So when we get into, we're just not looking at low bid, but actually low bid is actually a small percentage of what we're looking at overall. There's a lot of sort of intricacies within this that, as a board, I think we need to kind of work through and discuss through, so you have a full understanding. But part of that involves some, sensitive information within the firms in terms of their specific approaches to the project.
In every other item well, not every item, but this item, and then that discussion, and then the next 3 items will all be items in executive session. So we'd be entering related to the particular, Kevin, let me not pretend to be an attorney and let you do that.
Well, can we get a motion to go into executive session?
Yeah, and I was gonna have him do the reason we would be. Yes.
Can we get a motion to go into executive session?
I will,
We got a motion, we got a second. Kevin, would you explain why we're going to executive session?
Yeah, so for the purpose of discussing the financial history of a particular corporation case, I think, company or corporation, pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now in executive session as of Nate.
148. Make sure and who made the motion on the second?
Barry Burton. Oh, okay. Thanks. That's how much right now.